is the premier extreme crossover event. We have mixed teams of pro wakeboarders and pro snowboarders competing to determine who are the best board-to-board athletes. And of course, the first half of our event, wakeboarding, held right here in the beautiful waters of the Caribbean. Then it's off to California for the snowboarding at Big Bear Mountain. Ken, how well do the snowboarding and wakeboarding skills cross over?
Snowboarding and wakeboarding are two of probably the easiest crossover sports there are. The foot stances are similar, the boards are similar, the tricks are named similar. Some of the competitors can actually compete at national caliber levels in the other sport that they're not professional in. One athlete, for instance, is professional in 5 different sports. He's on Team 1. That's Charles Patterson. I think he's a real force to bring Team 1 through.
Charles Patterson is on Team number 1, and Team number 1 is on the dock and ready to begin our wakeboarding. Team 1's leadoff hitter is Nicola Huntridge from Doncaster, England, a European water ski champion in the under-21 division in 1994-95. This woman can rock anytime she's on the water, Ken.
Nicola is one of the top 3 female 3-event water skiers in Europe. She actually won the Portland Pro Tour and finished 3rd in the World Championships.
She's up and at him now, and a great move to start off.
Big backside back roll. She comes around switch. She's now got the wrong foot forward. She's got another backside roll to switch. Perfect. Little grab there. She's mixing up some snowboard moves in the wakeboarding here. Nicola's actually a pro wakeboarder. Another backside roll.
She looks so comfortable on this wakeboard.
This is Nicola's first year as a professional wakeboarder on the tour, and she's finished in the top 3 in the world.
She's a pro wakeboarder. She's also a fashion model, and she's showing she can be the model of consistency here as a leadoff hitter.
Another big backside roll for Nicola. The salt water's a little bit faster. You can see on their landings they're having to control the board and put it back on edge a little bit quicker.
What a beautiful backdrop to our leadoff wakeboarder, Nicola Huntridge, the British Virgin Islands. She's got to be heading for a great score.
Mixing up her moves there. She's doing a few snowboard moves along with the wakeboarders. Those are more of a grab style move where they reach down and grab the board.
Nicola Huntridge with a fine score of 58 in the wakeboarding event. And up now, her teammate for Team 1, Charles Patterson from Tahoe Vista, California. He gets the hair wet, slicked back. He's a pro snowboarder, but he's much more versatile than that.
Charlie's a professional athlete in 5 different disciplines on boards. He's been on the extreme tour, extreme snowboarding, and extreme snow skiing. Wakeboarding for him is just a piece of cake. He can do 5 different inverted moves on a wakeboard, and he's a pro snowboarder.
He is the classic crossover athlete for this type of event. He's a pro surfer, pro volleyball player, mountain bike racer. The man has skied 112 miles an hour. It's amazing what he's done.
Well, I don't think the Mastercraft's going 112 miles an hour, but he's catching some big air in the salt water. The salt water's lighter and faster. They can really launch the board compared to fresh water.
Once they get used to it, I assume it can be a lot more fun.
Here comes a great move for Charlie. Big backside roll. Finishes with a lot of time, no problems. The judges like the clean moves.
Charles Patterson finished on a 2nd place team in last year's board-to-board competition. He's looking for the top step of the podium this year.
He's got a solid run put together so far. He's looking to really put his team on top early in the wakeboarding portion of this because he is a lot stronger at snowboarding. There's a big 180, wake to wake. 180 the other way, puts a grab in there, a little snowboard move. You've seen a lot more of the crossover to wakeboarding at this point.
Caught that a little bit low. Charles maybe not being as aggressive as he needs to be on those jumps. Having a little trouble, and he knows it. But a big move there. Coming in for the big finish, Patterson. Oh, he doesn't make the sign. Well, he scores points with the fans, and he scores 60.5 points with the judge. And that's backed up by his teammate Nicola Huntridge's score of 58. Now we're moving on to our 3rd member of team number 1, Athena, a pro snowboarder from Santa Barbara, California, and she's on the water and ready to go.
Athena's an extreme freerider. She likes to get in the helicopter, go to the top of the mountain, and jump cliffs on the way down. Wakeboarding's a relatively new sport for her, but of course she's crossed over very well. This is an expression session free ride, much like the type of snowboarding that she's used to doing.
And Athena was also part of the board-to-board last year.
The snowboarders are crossing over to wakeboarding. You can see them doing a lot more grab moves. There are a few less inversions in snowboarding because they actually hit the snow. It's a little harder than the water.
They love being out here. They could probably actually tune up a couple snowboard tricks out here on the wakeboard, I'm sure.
Most of the tricks do cross over. In fact, a lot of the names of the tricks in wakeboarding came from the snowboarding discipline.
So Athena taking a little gingerly. She comes through on the wake, and she comes up with a score of 22.5, the third member of team number 1. Now we round out the fourth member of team number 1, one of the best pro wakeboarders in the world, Dean Laval from Orlando, Florida.
Dean's been the world champion before. He's won Expression Session before. He's been a professional show skier his entire life.
1996 world champion. You're sure he was having a little skull session with the rest of his team members, showing them what works and what doesn't, because this is the man who knows what works.
They call him Clean Dean because he has a habit of standing up every one of his passes. That's an S-bend. It's a full twisting air railie, completely inverted with a 360 twist.
Oh, huge. Oh, and Clean Dean is not so clean.
The salt water was a little slippery on that landing. Right when he brought the board around, oh, he didn't get it to track. It just slid out on him.
So Dean Laval gets wet, probably for the first time in his life.
Okay, they've got Dean back up and going again. He's going to get his head together because he's got to pull Team 1 together. Oh, nice grab move. He's crossing over with some snowboarding. Big front flip across the wake for Dean. Another front flip. Now that's an air front flip, no wake. Now the boat's actually turning around and he's still blowing moves.
Amazing.
Okay, this is what's going to be called a double up. Now both wakes are going to come together as the boat turns around, and it makes a third wake that's about 3 times as high. This should be his biggest move.
And he's looking for it.
Oh, a big Gucci glide coming off the double up.
Dean Laval with the biggest air we've seen so far.
Dean's a powerful left foot forward rider, and he lands right foot forward. That's called switch stance. And then throws a switch roll to revert. Now he's got his correct foot forward.
The many subtleties of pro wakeboarding. Dean Laval, the cleanup hitter of team number 1 with a strong performance.
That was a huge air railie he just threw. He's mixing some grabs in there, getting a little bit of influence from the snowboarding, because there is a snowboard judge in the boat.
He's loving this weather, huh?
Great job.
Team number 1 will be tough to beat. The huge air of Dean Laval. Coming in for the big finish.
Uh-oh, he's going for the sign.
Charlie couldn't do it, but Dean Laval jumps the board-to-board sign. And a great score out of 100 possible, 76 for Dean Laval. A total of 217 for team number 1. Team number 2 up next, leading off Morgan LaVon. Gold board to board is brought to you by the rider number 1 for team number 2 is Morgan LaVon. She rides for K2 Snowboards, a pro snowboarder.
Morgan is an intense free rider. She's competed in the Valdez, Alaska tournaments. She's been in dozens of movies, loves jumping off cliffs, riding in helicopters. Wakeboarding is a new sport for her, and she crosses over great.
And she loves being back here at board to board. She was on the first place team in the 1997 Cuervo Gold board to board.
Little spin move there behind the back, great. It's a surface 360. Can't really do that too well on a snowboard.
One thing she told me, she's not used to the upper arm strength wakeboarding takes. As a snowboarder, of course, your hands are out there riding free. Don't have to pull on that line. A 31 for Morgan LaVon. And now we move on to one of the more visible pro wakeboarders in the world, Dave Reinhardt from Delray Beach, Florida.
You've probably seen Dave doing stunt doubles in dozens of movies, not even knowing it was him.
License to Kill, Police Academy, and into the water, Dave Reinhardt caught an edge.
Board slid out a little bit on him there. Wasn't the best move.
Well, he's used to being in the water. One of the highlights of his bio says he was dragged through the water behind a 100-foot yacht.
Dave's an 8-time world freestyle jump champion, 3-time barefoot champion, and he's rated 6th in the world on a wakeboard. He's actually one of our oldest competitors here, but it looks like he's putting together one of the better runs of the day. He's going for a Slurpee here. He can't see the boat, pulls it around, no problem on the Slurpee.
You have to be so aware of your surroundings, aware of your body position if you're going to do anything without inside of the boat. Little shudder on that landing.
He's getting his timing set right now. He's getting prepared for his double up. The double up should be his biggest jump. As the two wakes come together, it's going to create that third large wake. It's about waist high when he comes into it. Does a tantrum off the double up. His timing was just a little bit off there, but he worked it hard. He stood it up.
Dave Reinhardt not getting as much air as we saw from Dean Laval on team number 1, but he is very concise in his moves. A true technician on the water is Dave Reinhardt.
Being a freestyle jumper, Dave's kind of a cat. He can basically ride out anything. You'll see him go down in the water and completely roll up from sliding on the water.
Really finding his stride here in the home stretch.
Little trick ski move, that's called a line over. That's rare for a wakeboarder to do.
Well, that's what's great about having all these athletes come in here, these crossover athletes from skiing, from snowboarding, even from water skiing. They can open the array of tricks for all wakeboarders.
Little trouble there. I think he caught another roller coming in.
Dave Reinhardt's biggest move, up beauty. And for the big finish, can he make the sign? And he throws it into the beach and sprays the crew. Dave Reinhardt with a score of 78.5 out of 100, greeted by his teammate Morgan LaVon. And we'll have the rest of the members of team number 2, Sonia Scheffler right there, and Josh Smith. We'll be right back. A taste of the islands. What a great time we're having down here in the British Virgin Islands.
I think the snowboarders are really enjoying this crossover.
They love it. The third member of team number 2, Sonia Scheffler, a wakeboarder, 23 years old, from Auburndale, Florida.
Sonia's no stranger to a board-to-board crossover type event. She's competed in several. She's been in the X Games, Board Fest. She's currently ranked 2nd place in the world.
Setting up for her first maneuver.
Good backside roll, a little butt check coming out of it. That's okay. The fast water's getting to them, but they can ride it out.
Same thing. Oh, and she couldn't hang on to the line that time.
Just slid out on that. They'll get her back up and get her going.
Here's that first move. And she does hang on, but when you do that butt check and a little extra drag on that line, the second time she could not hold on.
Okay, she's trying to put some grab moves in here and get her point value up.
What are the judges looking for? What scores points out here?
This is an expression session type format. The judges are looking for difficulty, proficiency, creativity, and they're giving extra points for just untaming your ride and going for it.
Just do it. Sonia Scheffler from team number 2.
There she's getting it figured out. The fast water's getting to her a little bit, but she's doing good.
A score of 58 for Scheffler. And now Josh Smith, the final member of team number 2 from Truckee, California. That tells you right there he's a snowboarder.
Josh lives up in Lake Tahoe, likes to go powder riding. They've been getting some good 4-foot dumps. Josh has actually competed in wakeboarding also as a professional rider back in the Worlds in 1990 at Kauai when they used to ride on plastic boards.
He even finished 3rd place in '93 in the Wakeboard Worlds in Dallas, but here the line goes dragging.
Good roll, got it around, just slid out there at the very end. They're fighting that salt water. He might run a little more fin on that board.
It's amazing how a change in buoyancy can certainly change the mental framework. Josh back up and going at it.
He's got the rope wrapped up around him. He's going to do a spin move here. Big 540 with the grab. That's a 1.5 spin. That's good.
Very nice.
Okay, now he's wrong foot forward. That's that switch stance move. Comes back into the wake and does a switch roll. Executed that nice. Switches around to the other foot. He can go both sides. Big helicopter. Oh, loses the handle.
Boy, he had it, and he's so disappointed. He knows if he could have hung on, it would have been big points. Boy, dunked the head. Just couldn't hang on. Now finishing off. The Cuervo side goes dancing.
That's called untaming your ride on your dismount.
58 for Josh Smith, matching his teammate Sonia Scheffler's. 225.5 for team number 2. They have the lead right now, but team 3 still to come. Gold board to board. You know, there is a legend filtering through the islands here that there was actually some snow on one of these islands, and to tell us about it is board-to-board event promoter Paul Carson. Paul, is it true you tried to hold both halves of the board-to-board air in the Caribbean?
Well, we considered it. Actually, what we did is we held a Winter Games training site here, and we did have snowboarding on this island.
How did you get the snow over here?
Well, we made it with liquid nitrogen in Florida. We put it on a frozen container. We shipped it down here. We got it to Tortola. We trucked it across the island. Then we put it on a smaller barge and brought it over to the Republic of Cuervo Gold. From there, I had 15 islanders shovel out 20 tons of snow into garbage cans, large garbage cans, and we carried it up this hill, and we packed it down and made a snowboard run.
Is it true the locals were a little bit leery about handling the snow?
They'd never seen snow before, and I had to promise that I'd have gloves for all the workers or they weren't going to work. They were sure that if you touched snow, that automatically you got a cold, maybe even pneumonia.
Well, we'll have to settle for the wakeboarding here in the Caribbean, right?
That's right.
All right, thank you, Paul. You know how many margaritas you could have made out of that snow, Ken?
Wow.
All right, Team 3 up and ready to go on our first rider, Tanya Otero, a pro snowboarder from Salt Lake City.
Tanya likes to compete in the border cross events. She's even competed in the men's division, but this time she's out here by herself. There aren't other people to elbow her and push her around. She was actually first place in the women's pro division at Boardfest, another crossover snowboard wakeboard. So this is something she's used to doing.
The real key to success for snowboarders coming into wakeboarding is, can they do the invert? Because they don't do that on the snow very often. Tanya checking out the wake now, looking for the spin move, and she can't hang on.
She was going for a hand pass helicopter. She just didn't get all the way around on it, and the board barely slid out on her. That would have been huge points for Team 3.
Well, she actually got her hand on that rope, but she was turning just a little bit, caught the edge, comes through Tanya Otero with a score of 35. And now, Neil Drake, one of the more interesting characters, a pro snowboarder. He's been snowboarding 12 years, wakeboarding, he says, 15 times.
Neil is an excellent crossover athlete also. He actually won a downhill event where they had to snowboard and snow ski on the same course at Big Bear. Oh, he's mixing it up good. He's got some of his snowboard grab moves in there.
Neil is one of the more colorful characters out here. You read through his bio material, and he claims he's an expert in stucco, a veteran in love, and an outlaw in Peru.
He's actually also been known to hurl tennis rackets at small moving objects with deadly accuracy.
All right, Neil Drake on the water. A little conservative, but he's trying to open it up.
Oh, he's going huge there. He was hanging on for dear life. Comes around, jumps the board around, switch, spins it back the other way, and a little bit off the lip.
Little sideways move there. Neil Drake, a pro snowboarder with a wakeboarding score of 39.5. And now we move on to Donna Warren, who is a pro wakeboarder from Dallas, Texas.
Donna's been competing on the women's pro circuit for years. She does several inverted moves and a lot of grabs. Wake 180.
Donna has finished as high as second place in the women's division for World Wakeboarding Championships.
Donna's got several top 5 finishes already this year. She's got to put together a big run for Team 3. Oh, board slides out just a little bit there on the landing on that backside roll. Thinks she's fighting the salt water some.
You can really see how that makes a difference. It hits the water and just slides out from under her. like there's no traction at all. How do they compensate for that? Do they have to land a little differently, get a carve when they land?
You've got to take the board, get it onto an edge, and get the fin to track right away. Some of the competitors have actually put about a 1/4 inch deeper fin on their board.
To make up for that saltwater landing. Donna Warren on the water now for Team 3.
Nice grab move. She's trying to get a little variety in her run right now.
And you see her with a thumbs up. Donna wants a little more speed, perhaps, to finish off big.
She's got to be setting up for a backside roll. It is. Oh, a little bit short on the landing. She caught an edge on the way back down.
Donna Warren goes for the gold on that last move. Didn't come up with it. She scores 47. And now, Sean Murray, pro wakeboarder extraordinaire.
Sean Murray's won the Expression Session 2 years in a row on the Pro Tour. We expect huge things out of Sean. This is his format. Dean's a little better in the trickless and running through a routine. Sean just goes out and free rides.
He was on the first place team of the Cuervo Gold board to board last year, and Sean Murray starting off big.
He can mix up quite a variety of tricks. He does inverts, he does grabs during, oh, he almost took out the camera boat there. He'll actually sit and put multiple moves together and make up new tricks. They get to name their trick. They use such names as Slurpee, Pete Rose, Scarecrow, and even Whirling Dervish.
And he could do them all. Sean Murray was named the most consistent rider by Wakeboarding Magazine, one of only 2 riders in '96 to qualify for every major U.S. event.
Big tantrum into an air tantrum. That's called a Bel Air. He invented that one. That's a Scarecrow. Good landing. You notice he's not touching down to the water. All his landings are clean.
Much more active than any of the other riders we've seen so far. Pack in the tricks, pack on the points.
I'm not even sure he's going to get his hair wet on this run.
And that is cool.
Sean's a double-up specialist. The boat's going to turn around now. We're going to see his biggest move. It's an air railing while the boat's turning around.
He can read the wake. He reads the water. He knows what's ahead of him. He probably's looking down the road 2 or 3 tricks.
Here comes the double-up. Watch his timing.
Wow!
See the grab in the middle of that roll? That's been adapted from snowboarding. You get a lot of extra points for grabbing a move. Nice air roll to revert.
Sean Murray showing everyone on the beach here in the British Virgin Islands what it is to be a pro wakeboarder.
His Expression Session training for the Pro Tours really paid off.
Ooh.
This is by far the best run we've seen today.
His timing is impeccable.
I think he's having a really good time out there too. That's a whirlybird. Now that's hard to pull. Okay, he's got tons of variety. He's got grab moves. He's got inverted moves. He's got spins. The judges are going to love his intensity.
Sean Murray setting up for his second double up.
Oh, he throws a big stalled out hand pass 360.
Sean Murray coming through when Team 3 needed him most. The first 3 members of Team 3 not quite on a par with the other teams, but Murray is coming through big time.
Perfect dismount move.
And Sean Murray kept his hair dry the whole way, and the judges loved it. Highest score of the afternoon, an 85 for Murray.
Sean, nice dismount. You aired over the banner. Great run.
I just felt good about the whole thing because I was smiling the whole time, having a good time. Skip drove some good double-ups, and everything went to plan, kept my hair dry.
Hey, and that's key. You got to be styling. So the results of the wakeboarding competition, 225.5 points for Team 2. Team 1 and Team 3 have some work to do. Ken, you and I had a great time here in the British Virgin Islands, huh?
Great.
Beautiful. I know the athletes got to know the islands very well, enjoyed the waters, but now we got to head west to California to Big Bear. The snowboarders did a great job here in the wake. Now we got to see if the wakeboarders can do good on the snow, right?
I'm not going anywhere.
No,
I'm staying right here.
Oh, you're going.
I've applied for residency. I've got all my papers. I'm not going anywhere.
No way. The black magic is so strong here. I can get us there.
I won't go.
You're going with me. We're there.
Whoa, so this...